Yes, absolutely. And of course, alcohol trading goes back to normal hours, so all restrictions lifted on that. But let's continue to get reaction. I'm joined now by ANC National Spokesperson Pule Mabe. Good evening, Mr. Mabe, and thank you very much for your time. I was just wondering, from a political point of view, we know that we are due to have a local government election this year. The President announcing this evening that political gatherings are now to be allowed, but still restrictions on numbers. What is the ANC thinking in terms of campaigning for the local government elections?
No, we do welcome the announcement, even to your viewers. We do welcome the pronouncement made by the President and the fact that political gatherings are now going to be allowed, albeit on smaller numbers. We are also making an appeal to all political parties that will be campaigning for the forthcoming local government elections not to let their guard down. They must become good ambassadors, custodians of the very regulations that were pronounced and carried forward by our government over the past few months to almost a year now, encouraging their own members, including where they are also doing or carrying out campaign activities. There must be social distancing. People must continue wearing their masks. They must avoid larger crowds and make sure that where they've got gatherings, they really stick to the stipulated numbers. We have seen that when our people act to affirm the pronouncement made by our own government, which are necessary to save lives, we are all able to emerge even much stronger. We have seen the united, true South African spirit come alive, something that the President has himself commented on. So we hope and believe that if political campaigning for the forthcoming local government elections is carried forward by political parties in a manner and way that respects and pays larger adherence or complete adherence to the regulations, we will be able to save this country, and that will be able to emerge even out of that process without a third or fourth wave on our shores.
Mr. Mabe, I would like to get a comment from you while we have you on the Sunday Times report. They interviewed DA leader John Steenhuisen, and he indicated that his party, the DA, would be keen to work with reformists within the ANC, that they would side with President Ramaphosa should there be a no-confidence vote against him, but they wouldn't work with the likes of D.D. Mabuza. What do you make of this statement from the DA, that they might perhaps be more open to working closer with your party?
Well, we must caution the DA and any other political party not to be found actively wanting to sponsor divisions in the African National Congress and wanting to make their own choices on this or that leader. Leaders of the African National Congress, national officials of the ANC, President Ramaphosa, Deputy President D.D. Mabuza, our Secretary General Ace Magashule, Deputy Secretary General Jesse Duarte, Treasurer General Paul Mashatile, and National Chairperson Gwede Mandashi are the national officials of the African National Congress. They are the total and full embrace of the unity of the African National Congress. So no political party outside the ANC can make choices for the ANC. In any event, if the ANC makes options or choices on who it wants to go into a coalition with or work with at any other level of government, including in parliament, such would have been processed by the internal structures of the African National Congress. The African National Congress doesn't get to be addressed through newspaper headlines. It doesn't happen like that. We make our own choices. We are a self-respecting political movement in this country. We are the governing party. We have been presiding on the government of the people of South Africa for the past 26 years. We are capable of making our own choices, and we believe in the unity of the African National Congress and are confident that all of the leaders of the ANC combined are equal to the task of uniting the organization, and that no one else outside the ANC, including the Democratic Alliance, must make it their duty to speak for the ANC. We can speak on our behalf, and we will enter into relationships that makes sense
Okay,
and work to boost the unity of the African National Congress.
Final question, Pule. Unemployment in the country reached record highs at the end of 2020, 32.5%. That's just the official rate. The President speaking tonight said that the COVID-19 unemployment relief grant of 350 will run out at the end of April, as will the TERS provisions. Those will run out on the 15th of March. Now, people will still be poor beyond the end of April. So what happens to the poorest among us then?
Well, we do know that our economy has not been at its best over a period of time. We had mounted an economic recovery strategy as the African National Congress last year. We went into Lekgotla early this year, and among the priorities, actually the second priority is economic recovery. We had 4 priorities that we laid out for ourselves: fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, economic recovery and reconstruction, the district development delivery model, as well as building a better Africa and a better world. We spoke largely about building a developmental ethical state as well, which was largely pronounced at the level of government. So economic recovery has been at the center of the conversations that the ANC has been leading, and we have gone further and said these are the sectors of the economy that could be able to boost our growth. At the center of that was us pronouncing on network industries, telecoms, making sure that we fast-track the auctioning of spectrum, transport, making sure that we use available transport infrastructure, including our own rail infrastructure, the aviation sector, to be able to create the much-needed jobs. Energy security, making sure that we do what is required within the energy space to roll out the required jobs.
All right.
The green economy space, making sure that as part of responding to climate change and responding as well to a low carbon efficient economy, we also do different other things that would make sure that our people could be able to make a greater contribution in the economic sector. We also said manufacturing, agro-processing, the tourism sector will have a greater role to play in making sure that we could be able to restart the economy. Because government alone will not be able to restart the economy without us being able to create new responsive industries that begin to address the poverty levels, the unemployment levels, and making sure that we could curb retrenchment. Because industry itself has got a role to play. We are now speaking about TERS. We need to make sure that industries find more innovative and agile ways to be able to operate, so that the workforce that they have is not laid off because of what came out with COVID. Government has tried with these social relief mechanisms to make sure that our people could still have the jobs they so much need.
Pule, I'm sure you and I will be having plenty more conversations about the road ahead, especially as far as unemployment and poverty levels in the country, as we continue to monitor the situation over the coming months. For now, that was ANC National Spokesperson Pule Mabe. We're leaving that conversation there, Sally, because we've got much more reaction.